Okay, friends, I'm told that it's 5 o'clock, which means it's showtime. Welcome to the Ray Bierl Show. And here he is, the star of the show, Ray Bierl. Thank you. No, please, thank you. Please, thank you. Thank you, Ray, for that nice introduction. Hello, anybody. I'm going to sing songs for an hour or so. Hope the lighting is good enough on my little monitor here. It looks pretty dark, but I guess people can let me know, hey? I'm going to sing you a song that takes me back to a bar in San Diego in the late 1960s where I used to go late of an evening after the coffee houses were shut down for the evening. Used to go and have a beer or three with friends, and this was in Pacific Beach in San Diego. On I can't remember the name of the place, on Mission Boulevard. Had a electronic or whatever they called it, some kind of a machine. It was great. It was an auto racing thing. You just got on there and you raced this automobile around this course on a screen. It was way avant-garde for the time, but they had a great jukebox. And all I remember was two songs that we played over and over on that jukebox. One of them was a Mickey Newberry song called San Francisco Mabel Joy, about a young man who falls under the spell of an older woman, and it's got a great line in it. It says, son, your Georgia neck is red, but you're still green. That was from San Francisco. And the other song was Elvis Presley singing Guitar Man. Great song by Jerry Reed. And years later, when I decided I'd like to maybe learn that song, I found that the words were already in my head. And hope they'll be in my head now, because I'm going to sing that song for the Guitar Man. Quit my job down at the car wash, left my mama a goodbye note. By sundown I'd left Kingston with my guitar under my coat to hitchhike all the way down to Memphis, got a room at the YMCA. For the next 3 weeks I went to hum them nightclubs looking for a place to play. Thought my picking was to set 'em on fire, but nobody wanted to hire a guitar man. Well, they nearly about starved to death down in Memphis, run out of money and luck. So I bought me a ride down to Macon, Georgia in an overloaded poultry truck. I've gone down to Panama City, started picking out some of them all-night bars, hoping I could make myself a dollar making music on my guitar. Got the same old story, them all-night peers. You know there ain't no room around here for a guitar man. No, sir. So I slept in a hobo jungle, I rode 1,000 miles of track, till I found myself in Mobile, Alabama, at a club they called Big Jack's. A little 4-piece band was jamming, so I took my guitar and I sat in. Showed them cats how a band could sound with a swinging little guitar man. Bit like this here, oh. that Elvis sang on his 1968 TV special that you can still find, I think, on the interweb. If you look up Elvis 60. Anyway, this is a song I've never heard anywhere else, and it's kind of poignant when you listen to it and associate it with Elvis Presley. Anyway. Well, it's a long way from that car wash out to where I said I'd get. But in spite of this wealth and fame, sometimes I think I really haven't got there yet. So I might just take this guitar, throw it over my back, take me a hike down the highway, take a ride down the railroad track. Because I'll never be more than what I am. And Lord, Lord, that's a guitar man. I know I'll never be more than what I am. Lord, that's a guitar man. Take it on, son. Thank you. Thank you. That's your guitar man. One thing, before I ever started playing that for anybody, I had to improve my guitar playing a great deal from where it was so I could play that the way the song deserves to be played on the guitar. So whatever you think of the guitar playing I just did there, it's a whole lot better than it was before I learned how to do that song. Guitar man Jerry Reed. I'm going to do you an old folk song. It might be the only folk song, strictly speaking, that I do today. There was an old song in England called the Derby Ram, and it was all about a humongous testosterone-laden ram that made a big impression on everybody in ways that you can only imagine. The biggest ram, sir, that ever was fed on hay. And I had a chorus that went, didn't he ramble, didn't he ramble, didn't he ramble till the butchers cut him down. Well, it made it over to this country, and it got to be not so much about a ovine creature as humans. You know, sometimes you hear a song. This song, the version I'm doing, I think comes through Charlie Poole and his North Carolina Ramblers, if I'm saying that right, in the 20s and 30s. And I'd heard it a lot, and I was never moved to sing until I heard a friend of mine do it. That happens sometimes. I hear a song for years, and it takes somebody else doing it pretty good to make me realize what a good song it is. Kaisa Oman sang the heck out of this one, probably still does. You should look her up. Kajsa Oman, O-H-M-A-N. She writes terrific songs too. Anyway, here's Didn't He Ramble? Mother had raised 3 grown boys, Buster, Bill, and I. Buster was a black sheep of our little family. Mother tried to break him of his rough and rowdy ways. Finally had to get the judge to give him 90 days. Didn't he ramble? He rambled. He rambled all around, in and out the town. Didn't he ramble? He rambled. would not pay the bill. He picked up $50, then threw it on the ground. The waiter stooped to pick it up, and Buster kicked him down. Then he rambled, oh he rambled all around, in and out the town. Didn't he rambled till the butchers cut him down. Rambled in a gambling game, gambled on the green. The gamblers there showed him a trick he had never seen. He lost his roll and a jewelry, he liked to lost his life. He lost the car that carried him there, and somebody stole his wife. Didn't he ramble? He rambled all around, in and out the town. Didn't he ramble? He rambled till the butchers cut him down. Sad song. That Louis Armstrong recorded that song. I think it was a staple among the New Orleans bands in the 1920s. Okay, time for me to tell you that today's performance is a benefit concert to which you are invited to contribute money, but only if you can afford to do so. If you can't afford to do so, you are not obligated. But I'm kind of fortunate. I get to play music for fun. I don't have to depend on it for making a living. I tried to do that once a long time ago, and it became very difficult to do in a way that kept food on the table and stuff. But I know, and you might know, people who are musicians who are depending on gigs to pay the bills, and they're not getting the gigs these days. So I'm gonna solicit your tips and your admission fee. I'll put it that way, and talk about living in the future. You can pay me via PayPal, and I hope you can see this clearly. It should say www.paypal.me/Ray Bierl. And I and other people will, especially other people, probably will really appreciate whatever you can contribute. And if you're not hip to the PayPal thing, you can send me a check. Remember those? To Ray Bierl, Box 10605, Oakland, California, 94610. Appreciate it. Speaking of money, ain't gonna look for work today again. I used to look for jobs most now and then. Now it's not the looking that worries me. I'm just scared somebody's gonna hire me. Oh, easy street. life is sweet for folks who live on easy street. No weekly payments you must meet to make your hair turn gray. When opportunity comes knocking, you just keep on with your rockin', 'cause you know fortune's been made. Sun makes you perspire. There's a fella you can hire to plant trees so you can have shade on Easy Street. I'm telling everyone I meet, if I could live on Easy Street, wouldn't want no job today. No way. Got the cheapest guitar player I could, folks. When opportunity comes knocking, you just keep on with your rockin', 'cause you know your fortune's been made. Sun makes you perspire. There's a person you can hire to plant trees. You gotta have shade on Easy Street. I'm telling everyone I know, if I could live on Easy Street, wouldn't want no job today. I got nothing to do, Sam, and I'm doing it tomorrow. Easy Street. That was recorded by a bunch of people in the 1950s, mostly women, I think. I heard it on a recording made back then, but I didn't hear it until not that long ago, by Elaine Stritch, of all people. She was a wonderful. You might have seen her as an actress in some Woody Allen movies. She did a one-woman show. She talked about being in the movie, what was that one? Ernest Hemingway, not The Sun Also Rises, the one about the Italian army. I know you're all remembering it and you can't clue me. So anyway, that one there, when Elaine Stritch on stage, she said, I had my cap set on Rock Hudson, let me tell you. And she said, we all know how that, where that went. Anyway, I recommend a show she did called Elaine Stritch at Liberty, and it's her singing and dancing, one-woman show. Had a little band with her, and her kind of being the raconteuse about all her adventures in the showbiz through the decades. And that's where I got that song. It's the only album of songs that she did, as far as I know. Okay, I invented a musical genre. It turns out I wasn't the only one to invent it, but I didn't know about it having been invented by those other people, and they maybe didn't know it was invented by me. We'll just have to live with each other over that. Anyway, it started off with that great song, that great country song that Lefty Frizzell did, that you've probably all heard many times, "The Long Black Veil," and how it's got murder in it, and it's got cheating and adultery, and it's got dark nights, and it was the perfect initial member of the category that I invented called hillbilly noir. It's taking the a lot of the themes and tropes of film noir and finding country songs that kind of fit them. There's one, oh boy, names are escaping me, you may notice. Sang with Dolly Parton. Porter Wagner did a song called "The Cold Hard Facts of Life," and also involved cheating and murder. And not only that, he made an album of the same name, and on the cover of the album was a reenactment of the fatal scene right before your eyes in the album cover. It was pretty. Hank Snow did a great song called 90 Miles an Hour Down a Dead-End Street. And you can use your imagination. That was all about. Okay, I'm going to sing you one that I think is a great candidate for the Hillbilly Noir Club. There's a song that George Jones recorded. Called The Open Pit Mine. Started to do a different song. From Morenci, Arizona, where the copper mines glow, I can see Clifton in the canyon below. In Clifton lived Rosie. We danced and we dined on the money I made in the open pit mine. Well, how I love my sweet Rosie, and she loved me too. There was nothing for Rosie that I wouldn't do. Her hugs and her kisses were something divine. Give me reason for working the open pit mine. As I was out walking with my Rosie one day, we spied a store window with rings on display. I bought one, she noted how they sparkled and shined. I spent the money I made in the open pit mine. But her love would grow fickle, as I would soon learn. And she would two-time me when my back was turned. Oh, Rosie'd go dancing and drink the red wine, while I worked like a slave in the open pit mine. One night I caught Rosie on her rendezvous. She was hugging and kissing with somebody new. Well, okay, you don't want to follow that with another stinker, bummer of a song. So, speaking of themes, anybody see what I do with my cake? Oh, here it is. Yeah. Every so often I go to some musical gathering and I do a little workshop or mini concert, sometimes it turns out to be, where we're just on a theme like that, like I did the Hillbilly Noir thing one time. And another time I invited people to come and bring their candidates for the most nearly perfect song. And boy, I mean, there's a lot of songs out there, and there's a lot of really good ones. But what would be, you know? So anyway, I gave it some thought myself, and it's interesting. I thought I'd hear a bunch of great songs that I'd heard and hadn't heard before, and I hate to say it, but the songs people brought in were pretty good, but they weren't nearly perfect. At least they probably, pardon me, they probably felt the same way about the ones I brought in. Except this one guy brought in two songs. One of them was The Letter. Remember that? Because my baby wrote me a letter. I hadn't realized what a great song that was, and it is. And the other one he brought in was a gorgeous song by Kate McGarrigle called Mendocino. I recommend that very highly to your listening enjoyment. Sometime I can tell you how Kate McGarrigle bailed me out of jail one time in Massachusetts. And I'm only exaggerating a little bit. Anyway, I came in with a couple of candidates, and I'm going to sing you one of those candidates, and I hope you like it. Well, you ought to, because it's a nearly perfect song. A guy named Otis Blackwell wrote several, at least two songs that I know that did very well being sung by Elvis Presley. He also, I think he wrote both Whole Lot of Shakin' Going On of Jerry Lee Lewis and Goodness Gracious, Great Balls of Fire. I think that was all Otis Blackwell. But he wrote Don't Be Cruel, one of Elvis's early great songs, great hits. And then he wrote this. I read someplace that he said in an interview he made it a point he never wanted to meet Elvis Presley because Elvis Presley was doing so well with his songs, and he was doing so well having Elvis Presley record his songs that he just kind of didn't want to jinx the whole thing. But anyway, here's this one. And the part on the guitar, there's a part on the guitar that is supposed to sound a little bit like the Jordanaires, the singing group that backed up Elvis. Well, bless my soul, what's wrong with me? I met you like a man on a fuzzy tree. My friends say I'm acting wild as a bug. I'm in love. I'm all shook up. Stand on my own 2 shook up. But please don't ask me what's on my mind. I'm a little mixed up, but I'm feeling fine. When I'm near the one that I love best, you know my heart beats so it scares me to death when she touched my hand. Oh, what a thrill I got. Her lips are like a volcano in its hot. I'm proud to say that she's my buttercup. I'm in love. I'm all shook up. Well, my hands get shaky and my knees are weak. My insides are shaking like a leaf on a tree. There's only one cure for this body of mine, and that's to have that girl and her love so fine. When she touched my hand, oh, what a thrill I got. Her lips are like a volcano when it's hot. I'm proud to say that she's my buttercup. I'm in love. I'm all shook up. Otis Blackwell, Elvis, good team who never met, as far as I know. Okay, here's a song that that for years I only heard Rosalie Sorrell sing one.
Ignore me.
I'm ignoring
I'm gonna
who must be ignored. How do I look? Don't tell me. Rosalie Sorrell sang this song, and I'd never heard it any. As a matter of fact, when I decided to record it myself, I had a hard time finding its provenance, as they say. But I did, with the help of Hoyle Osborne, I think, that I used to play. Hoyle and I used to be one of Rosalie's accompanying ensembles. Anyway, song was written in the 1950s based on a poem that was written in the 1920s by a creature named Archie the Cockroach. Archie the Cockroach was a creation of a writer named Don Marquis, M-A-R-Q-U-I-S. A whole series of writings he did about Archie and Mehitabel, Archie the Cockroach and Mehitabel the Cat. And a person could do a whole long, interesting treatise on Archie and Mehitabel. I recommend them to you. Anyway, this is the song. It wasn't originally written in the 20s as a song. It was written as a poem by a couple of gentlemen. When I recorded it, I got their names on the back of the recording, and you can find it there. I can't remember it offhand. And it's called The Moth, or The Song of the Moth, or The Story of the Moth. Here it is. Let me do that again. The other night I met a moth who liked to play with fire. He was trying to get into a 100-watt bulb and fry himself on a wire. I said to him, if you keep that up, your years will be painfully few. Tell me, do you play with fire 'cause you like it? Or because it's the conventional thing for a moth to do? He looked at me all starry-eyed, fluttering his wings, he softly cried, have you ever seen the secret heart of a flame? How many creatures have ever seen the secret heart of a flame? We moths would rather know beauty once and then just cease to be, than to never know beauty at all and live in eternity. So we wad up our lives into one little ball, and into the flame we shoot it all. Oh, into the flame we fly. What a wonderful way to die. Goodbye. And before I could stop him, the crazy blighter took a flying leap into the business end of a patented windproof lighter. No more little blighters. Well, folks, that moth was a fool, I guess. But there's one thing that I can't deny. I wish there was one thing in this world I wanted as much as he wanted to fry. Song, The Moth. Thank you, Rosalie, for doing that. Well, this life is just a one big automobile, having 15 days under the hood. Sometimes I can't believe that it's real. I've been 15 days under the hood. Well, I'm way down here with my feet in the air. I got oil and grease and dirt in my hair. It's getting so bad that I'm starting to swear. I swear it's 15 days under the hood. Well, I'm awful hungry. I wish I had me some beans. 15 days under the hood. But I spent all but $1 on Valvoline. 15 days under the hood. Oh, it's lucky I saved up to get something to eat. Too bad I spent it later on wheel-bearing grease, and the cop just told me to get my car off the street. And it's 15 days under the hood. Well, I went in the house, put on my clean pants, take it to the junkyard, needed to get a vacuum advance, and just as I was getting into my one clean shirt, I remembered I couldn't go because my car don't work. Well, let me tell you, friends, what's wrong with me. 15 days under the hood, I just dropped my transmission on my knee. 15 days under the hood. Well, I got water in the oil and the London flu. I got burnt valve, paper lock, and worn brake shoes. I got the Dead battery broken, fan belt blues, 15 days under the hood. This is the only song I know that operates, or excuse me, that occupies the genre of songs about auto repair. If you know any more, let me know. Well, I just did about the transmission on my knee. Well, I'm trying to get this accelerator cable free. 15 days under the hood. Some fools on the radio talk about STP. 15 days under the hood. Well, I'm looking with my flat light for the timing chain. I just skinned my nipple, and I'm in great pain. Awful cold, and now it's starting to rain. 15 days under the hood. Swear it's 15 days under the hood. And if I can just get this thing fixed, I'd go see my baby tonight. 15 days under the Well, I tried to sound like a guy kind of at the end of his rope. I think I succeeded maybe even more than I intended with some of those positionings of my fingers on the fingerboard. Jack Tempchin, my old buddy, wrote that song. I'm starting to refer to myself as a singer-songwriter, except for the songwriter part, because I don't write any of the songs I sing. I would, but they were already written when I came along and learned them. And if I just sang songs that I'd written, assuming there were a bunch of those they wouldn't be as good as the songs that I like to do for you folks. So there you are. But I've been so lucky. I've known friends of mine who do that, who write songs, and it's to me it's a magical gift or diligence or hard work, whatever it is that makes these great songs come out. I'm going to do a few songs that I'm privileged to have known and be friends with the perpetrators of them. This is one Jenny Haley wrote. It should have been recorded by one of those country and western stars with the big hats, you know what I mean? I'm really happy to have been able to record it myself on the very first outing. I think it's just too bad that I'm the only person, I'm the only person I know of who recorded this song by Jenny Haley called Cowboy Dancing. Cowboy dancing is clean out of sight. Wyoming women keep you dancing all night. Hair cut loose, Levi's cut tight. They treat you like they want to know you. You're a rough rider, she's thrown one or two. man, she'll really throw you. Well, ain't there nobody here does cowboy dancing? This 6-bit city needs a 2-bit cow town to show it real cowboy and cowgirl romancing. I'm from Wyoming, I can twirl you around, around and around. High sheepskin collar, snow on your Stetson. You've blown in with the blue blizzards, flotsam and jetsam. She knows what you come for, she'll see you get some. As she says, coffee's hot, I'm a warning. Well, warm yourself up, and it's on the dance floor. She's swaying with you to the beat of 3/4. You're a high-stepping stallion, hoof-striking fire, but you'll stable you down till the morning. Well, ain't there nobody here does cowboy dancing? This 6-bit city needs a 2-bit cow town to show it real cowboy and cowgirl romancing. I'm from Wyoming, I can twirl you around, around and around. Jenny Haley, thank you, Jenny. Maine Smith, old buddy of mine, he wrote a song when he was about 25 years old about being an old man. And I came along a few years later when I was about 25 and I learned it. Called Back in My Dancing Days, My Dancing Days. And not long ago, I decided to stop waiting until I got old enough to sing this song with the authority it deserves. So I started singing it anyway. Kind of grow into it, maybe. I don't know. My dancing days. Well, back in my dancing days, my fancy prancing handsome days, I had an awful lot to learn. Folks used to laugh at me for living carelessly, oh, and I thought money was to burn. But I was living, oh, I had my fun. I took my troubles on the run. I wouldn't trade you the moon or sun for my fancy, handsome, prancing, dancing days. Well, back in my dancing days, my wild romancing phase, I burned the candle at both ends. I made a few folks are kind of hard to please. I didn't take the time to make amends. Oh, but I was living, and I had my fun. I took my troubles on the run. I wouldn't trade you the moon or sun for my fancy, handsome, prancing, dancing days. Pretty good song, well, Maine, I felt that I needed to stick my 2 cents worth on this. And like I've said about other songs, I found out, well, anyway, Maine let me write a verse to this. I said, well, you know, it's hard to improve on a Maine Smith song, but you can lengthen it. And I'm glad to have done that. I'm glad for his letting me do that. Now the years go dancing by, clouds across an autumn sky, in my dancing days I know I won't forget. So gather round my longtime friends, strike up that band again. Still might be a dance in the old dog yet. I was living, Lord, I had my fun. Took my troubles on the run. I wouldn't trade you the moon or sun for my head fancy dancing, wild romancing, low financing, fancy dancing days. Learning more and more old guy songs these days. I wonder why that is. Okay, another category I came up with of a song, a genre of a song. Well, I guess you could call it a genre. It was the subject, the title of a little mini concert I did at the San Francisco Folk Music Club event sometime recently. And I called it San Diego Boys. Songs of Tom Waits and Jack Tempchin. I already sang you one of Jack Tempchin's great songs. Well, I knew both those guys around the same time that they were starting to do what they learned how to do so well. So I did an hour-long concert where I just interspersed a Jack song and a Tom song all the way through, and there wasn't a bad song in a bunch, as you could expect. So I'm going to do you a Tom Waits song. You know, he's got, so did Jack. I mean, so many great songs. This is one everybody kind of talks about how rough a singer Tom can be, and it's true. But I'm having listened to a lot of his stuff over the years. I think he can sing any way he wants to, and the way he sings is the way he chooses to sing, and I guess some of it isn't to everybody's liking, but this is one I bring that out because just listen to him sing his version of this song called "The House Where Nobody Lives." he sings it, and he sounds kind of like Mick Jagger when he's singing it. I don't know if anybody else hears it. Anyway, it's a kind of a gorgeous song. There's a house on our block that's abandoned and cold. The people moved out of it a long time ago. They took all their things and they never came back. Now it looks like it's haunted with the windows all cracked. Everyone calls it the house where nobody lives. Oh, the paint is all cracked and peeling off of the wood. The windows, the papers were stacked on the porch where I stood. And the weeds grew as high, just as high as the doors. Birds in the chimney and old chest of drawers. Looks like nobody ever coming back to the house where nobody lives. Once it held laughter, once it held dreams. Did they throw it away? Did they know what it means? Did someone's heart break? Did someone do somebody wrong? So if you find someone to have, someone to hold, don't trade it for silver, don't trade it for gold. 'Cause I've tasted life's treasures, oh, and they're fine and they're good. They remind me that houses are just made of wood. For what makes a house grand ain't the roof or the doors. If there's love in a house, oh, it's a palace for sure. Without love, it ain't nothing but a house where nobody lives. Oh, without love, it ain't nothing but a house where nobody lives. Okay, we're nearing the end of this little event that we're all enjoying. I hope we are. Hope we all are. I am. I want to say two things. First, I had a devil of a time learning how, dealing with the technology involved in bringing this. I want to thank some people who helped me do it. Danny Schmidt, who has done some of these himself really well. My old buddy Kevin Carr, Jack Temption, whose name you've just heard recently, gave me some, and Allegra Thompson put up with several distraught phone calls from me, and my wife and partner in life, Pam Carey, has very often has gotten me through some hard spots, and she did this time too. As she is right now. I think she's kind of watching the monitor over in the other room and making sure I stay in the frame and stuff like that. And you know who I especially would like to thank is the people who helped me that I can't think of at the moment right now. But you know who you are if you're listening. Thank you. And let me just one more time say, help out a musician or two who were hurting for some income that they'd normally be getting that they aren't getting, playing music for folks like you, and they're not able to do that. And I am lucky to be able to do that, and we all can kind of help people who we are able to help, and what a good thing that is to do, to be able to do. Another thing I want to say is I'm thinking in the back of my mind that I know some more songs. Actually I know too many songs. I probably know more songs than I'm ever gonna sing the rest of my life, but I keep learning more of them. Anyway, watch for my announcements. I'll maybe do some more of these. And I want to leave you with a Jack Tempchin song. One of my favorite songs from one of my favorite songwriters. How's that for a moderately superlative encomium? This is a song nice to be with you all. I wish I could see you. I hope I look okay, because I can't see myself. But it'd be great to be able to look each other in the face sometime and play some music together, or have a time, one way or the other. So here's a song celebrating just that kind of thing from Jack, called My Old Friends. And I don't mean to exclude the young ones either. Well, I ain't had this good a time since, who knows when. Feels so fine, I don't want it to end. It's so good tonight, be back with my old friend. Well, at times like these in life, they don't come every day. All these blues and troubles you gotta pay. So good tonight, be back with my old friend. You know the years are rolling, that long train ride. Still I know somehow we didn't change that much inside. The same things are funny, the same things are true, the same things are great that we always do. Well, sometimes I wanna laugh, sometimes I wanna cry, sit around, talk about the days gone by. It's so good tonight to be back with my old friend. Look out. Hang in there, Ray. I know it's in here somewhere. Good thing it's my old friends I'm singing this to. Well, you know the years are rolling, that long train ride. Still and all, somehow we didn't change that much inside. The same things are funny, the same things are true, the same things are great that we always do. Well, sometimes I want to laugh, sometimes I want to cry. Think about the days gone by, it's so good tonight to be back with my, when I sing that line, sometimes I want to laugh, sometimes I want to cry. about the days gone by. So good tonight to be back with my old friends. Not quite done yet. Well, first we'll drink a toast to the crazy things we've done. Then we'll drink another one to the days to come. It's so good tonight. Be back with my so good tonight. Be back with my old so good tonight to be back with my old friend. Thank you. So long. Now how do I get out of this thing here? Well, you can look at part of my bookshelf while I'm learning how to do that.